Welcome back to Reborn Consultants, episode number 2. Today we are talking about why you should check/change your content on your website specifically. And what do you see, Cam, when we dive into people's websites talking about content specifically? What would you say we're seeing?
I think a lot of people have a misconception of if they write it, that it's the best content, right? And that's hugely...
Because they know their business.
Yeah, and they think, oh, well, if I write this, and it must be the best kind of article. But in reality, we were talking about it earlier, content is the SEO content that's going to rank and help you in the search engines, and there's certain criteria that we have doing it. So I think the biggest issue we have is people not keeping track of it, not understanding it, not
You can't fix what
talking
you don't
about
track.
it. Yeah, so it's all those things. That's kind of what we go in. But I think we want to kind of talk about, like, what are some of the steps, or what is content? Why is it valuable? Is it still utilized? Is it still king, like they used to say?
Well, it used to be, and we can kind of back up, and this is where having a team helps you. It used to be where you can just have a 500-word article, no big deal, quantity, get content out there. But now they have all these antiquated websites that will have 50 blogs, 100 blogs, and then if you go into the details of the blogs, of the analytics, you realize 60% of them get no traffic. So then it's going to slow down your website. It's going to be, just clutter, bloatware, right?
Exactly. I mean, it just goes into, like we were saying, the tracking part. I think what's hard is that people hope that putting up something is going to do something, and it doesn't. And they have to understand their industry. For instance, we'll go super simple. We've been talking a lot about HVAC, right? If they don't put that they're in HVAC in Denver, Colorado, who's going to know, right? Just because your address says Denver doesn't mean that's where you're trying to get after. So when you're writing your initial content, what we see, you asked this earlier, what we see from a lot of clients and potential clients and people we talk to is like, okay, on your homepage, it doesn't say anything about what you do. And your services, you have one service. And they're like, oh no, we have 10. I'm like, well, Google doesn't know that you have 10 services for HVAC. They know whatever one service you put.
And me, as a human, it's like, okay, I know that means, heating and air. I'm like, illiterate to HVAC, it's heating and air, right? But they're nerds. They're nerds in their industry, right? They're gonna be like, oh, we do air ducts, we do whatever the heck. I don't know, whatever they do, right? See, I don't even know. But that's the point. Is like having on your website also content on each individual URL, but then URL structure. We won't talk too much about that, but that is the content, how you're setting up, like the homepage, whatever, bobsheatingandair.com / Denver, Colorado HVAC company, or whatever the heck the best URL structure
Yeah,
is.
for services, it's, like Bob's, heating and air / services / technicians or technician work or installations.
And then every page will have a different / same thing, / service, technicians.
Exactly.
Whatever, all of it.
And I think a lot of the times people just think, oh, I'm going to throw up all this information and it's pointless. And so that's why we wanted to talk about it. It's not just checking, because you do need to check it, and one way we check it is Google Search Console, right? You look at Google Search Console, you see how many impressions it has, meaning how many times it's showing up in the search results. Doesn't mean people clicked it. Just means if somebody typed in HVAC in Denver and they happen to populate, that counts as an impression. Not even that they just scrolled over it even. Number 2 is it actually getting clicks to that website. And how is you going to do it? Like there's a few other softwares you can use, but other than that, like Google Search Console is it. It tells you exactly what it is. It tells you
business.
Yeah, it shows you exactly if they go to another page, right? And so you can track it from Google Analytics. Hey, they went to this page, to this page, to this page. So now you can track your sales funnel being they went from the home page to the call to action, to the call to action to fill out the contact form, then to a thank you page. And if you're not tracking that, you'll never know that was the flow.
But even tracking it also, yes, this is why we always advise people get a new website. Antiquated coding that can slow down your website, all that. But really, if you have the right strategy on a website, you can literally, what he's saying is essentially, hey, we want to drive people based on this blog, for example, to this certain page that then will have certain call to action to where we want them to convert at the highest rate possible. And then, again, you can have multiple, we won't get too much into it, but landing pages and different, okay, for this email marketing campaign, they're going to get sent to this exact landing page that then you can track, hey, for, plumbers in Orem, Utah, we did great or we did crappy. Okay, A/B test and adjust and move on, right?
I don't think a lot of people do that, though. What they do is they put up a blog, and then they just let it sit there, right? And it's just like, well, after a certain amount of time, it's usually after like a year and a half, you want to see if like any traction goes on it. If there's no traction, do a little bit of a content refresh. We talked about that. It's only 200 word changes. It's, it's a few sentences. It's changing it up a little bit, looking for it. And it kind of goes into our process, which I want you to go over, which our content writers, it's like we don't just have one writer doing it. We have multiple steps because we want to catch things. We want it to be the best quality content for them to potentially rank. We don't want to just be like, oh yeah, well, I hope it ranks. Like, no, like we want to put in
track
effort.
it all. Yeah. And so that's kind of the thing is like going through your old blogs. Everyone has a website typically, but you'll have blogs that are old, seeing with what, Search Console, right? Seeing with Search Console if it's actually getting traffic. And then from there, you need to get rid of those, or not get rid of them completely, the content refresh. And if you don't know what that is, it's literally, like he said, 1,000-word article that's old, getting no traffic. You just go in and add certain keywords, adding in more content, like 200 words to it, to then refresh it. Google will index it, and then now it knows, hey, this is actually a good article, not just some year-old blog. But let's get into some takeaways you can actually do. This is what we do. We don't just write, like he's saying, we don't just write, hey, here's some good content, here you go, let's hope it ranks. What you want to do is you want to do good keyword strategy research, like strategic keywords that will convert. Like, there's some keywords that have 1,000 volume and it sounds good, but realistically it's going to convert less than some keyword that only has 60 volume, but they're very, very specific. And then also looking at your competitors on their content audit. Hey, how much content do I need to rank for this keyword? Because that's where it all comes into play of, are you a localized business? Is it nationwide? Like an example, if you're gonna try to sell Nikes, I mean, you think that, on a nationwide scale or even international, you're gonna have to have one killer blog and some really good backlinks to compete against, everyone in the world selling that versus some, we do lawn care in, Denver, Colorado. It's going to be a very kind of smaller niche to, kind of attack. But anyways.
I think with competitors too, I think that people don't understand that there's things called LSIs, which are secondary keywords that you need to put in there. So based off of, we use SEMrush. And so based off of the top 20 search results, we look at the different keywords and we're saying, hey, in these 20 log articles, these are the most common words shown up. And this is one of the reasons why Google likes it. They think it's around this topic, and here's the secondary keywords to support that topic. And you also talked about it too a little bit, is how many words it should be. It bases off of the top 20 results, says, okay, what do these have? Okay, average of it around 1,000 words. I'm like, okay, let's be top on this authority, meaning like have the most understanding of it and write a few more hundred words, and boom, we'll be able to get it ranked.
Well, Google's trying to, again, quantity is of the past. Google's focusing more on user experience. So now, like Cam's saying, the quality of it is going to speak to that. Hey, is it authoritative? Do they know what they're talking about? But really important, is the end user, information's fast nowadays. Is the end user, us, you searching for whatever, are they going to be educated on that subject the quickest and the best possible way? But anyway, so going back to it. So number one, keyword strategy, getting in terms of what is the best keyword, and is it, if you have a 2-domain authority, you're not going to go after the hardest keyword out there. You need to start with something smaller, get your domain authority up, better content on the smaller, easier to rank, lower hanging fruit, right? That's what you would do. Competitor content analysis, SEMrush, right? They do it for you. We use that, and that's really great. You can speak more to that.
Yeah, like you said, there's different tools they have on there to just input a specific phrase, and they show you, hey, here's what backlinks these people have, here's what how many words these people have, here's the LSIs they have, and here's some of the reasoning. You can also look into like the domain authority of everyone, so you can understand, is this going to be something that's fair that I can go into being a newer business, and be like, okay, we have a better chance to rank for this. Let's go.
Well, you guys, this is all like, we've been doing this for over 12 years or whatever. Like, this is easy for us. So if you guys get lost, you can just contact us. We'll do it for you for free. Like, we just want to help businesses out there get better, education on what they should do for their business, because business is hard. We want to help everyone, right? So last thing, this is one of the most important on our speaking specifically to content, writing it. We have a content writer first, writes the content based on our strategic keyword research. Then we have an editor, because one person's, like, I look at the world, 7.7 billion different people, 7.7 billion different worlds. You're gonna see content different than your business partner or whoever, your wife, your husband. So an editor, someone that will take, Cam wrote the content, I'm gonna edit because it's two different people, right? Then one of the next most important people would be an SEO specialist to make sure that, hey, this is going to rank. Again, if you're not getting traffic, damn, you're spinning your wheels, you're writing the content, you're doing all this, but then if you're not on the first page of Google, you're nothing. You're nothing. It's 97% of everyone on Google goes to the first page. So you get like 3% if you're lucky.
Right.
It's a percentage of that 3%, so basically you get nothing. Good luck, Billy. You know? But that's like kind of it. I mean, anything to add to that?
No. To conclude, like I said, I think people need to understand that it's not just like we got to put it out there. It's actually checking. It's actually changing. Like we said, the whole topic of today is checking and changing your content. It's not a one-time thing, right? This is why we talk about SEO. It's the mid to long-term game and strategy that's best helping your business. And it needs to be a strategy that you input and utilize for success for later.
And it's always evolving. Like, that's the biggest thing. We have a monthly call with every single one of our clients that, hey, we noticed we got these keywords ranked because, like, we have one of the #1 blogs in the whole world on a travel agency where people from Germany, France, all over the world are seeing it, and we're tracking it every single month. And that's what you do. You maintain those, you go on to the next set of keywords, and that's how you create a giant business and then people don't even think about the future. You go to sell your business 10 years, 20 years from now, it doesn't matter. You go to sell it, you're gonna sell your business. I mean, what do you think? You sell your business that has 200 keywords on the first page of Google, or would you sell your business for more money if it had 2 keywords on the first page of Google? Obviously, more. So anyway, that kind of concludes our video for why you should check and change your content. Let us know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.